Hey, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Scott Stoll here, co-founder of the Plant Nutrition Project with my good friend, Dr. Mark Ferries, an expert in behavioral science and lifestyle medicine and a real leader, not only in Texas, but nationally and internationally, and doing some amazing research. Mark is also going to be presenting at our conference this year, the International Plant-Based Nutrition Healthcare Conference, September 11th through the 14th. And I'm really excited to have Mark present on behavioral science because it's the interface of the science of lifestyle medicine, which we all love, but it's the interface between science and real application and life transformation. So Mark, thanks for joining me this afternoon. It's great to have you.
Scott, thank you so much. This has been really fun.
Yeah, I always enjoy our conversations, and we have to keep this short for social media, but we can go on. And for anybody that wants to continue this, I know you're going to be speaking at the conference, and there's a lot more information that you've done. Can you just give us your website and some places that we can connect with you after this?
Yeah, so there'll be a few places, I think. One would be the fitnesspudding.com. So fitnesspudding.com is a website I started actually as a doctoral student to take on some of the challenge of common myths and fallacious thinking that challenges behavior change. I was finding that so many people were getting duped. They would try this particular fad diet or this exercise routine, and then it would undermine their self-confidence, their outcome expectations, etc. And so fitnesspudding.com, I can be contacted. I have a new website coming out too. It's called changemaintain.com. And this is going to start a new site that's going to house a lot of this behavioral content for practitioners. So fitnesspudding.com and changemaintain.com.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks, Mark. So let's just take a couple minutes. And as we were talking just before this, if we can think from the clinician standpoint, whether it's, physician, registered dietitian, nurse practitioner, health coach, or anyone else that's seeing somebody in their office, it's that critical interface between sharing the science, which we all love to do. And sometimes it's a dump truck load of science that we like to dump on people. And, that time when they leave the office and they're trying to put things into practice. And, sometimes we lose track of people between our visits and we expect more of them than really happens. So what are just some general pieces of advice that you give clinicians when we start thinking about behavior change?
It's a great question. It is a big time frustration. I know I've been doing some recent work with healthcare practices and systems within the value-based medicine. And the frustration is very apparent, not only with the clinicians, the practitioners, but also with administration. It's like I'm telling people what to do, but then they're not changing. And then I'm getting dinged for it. And so it's a frustration, especially when you're dealing with the lifestyle. But it's traditionally been a frustration even with medication adherence, and that's been a struggle as well. So I tend to find things exist in a spectrum because everybody has a different practice setup. And every practitioner, from, like you said, from a physician to a dietitian to a coach to a nurse, their situation makes it challenging because one, what's my background? How much knowledge do I have currently? But also, do I have 5 minutes with a patient or do I have an hour with a patient? And I've seen, as you have, many have changed their practice because they get sick of the 5-10 minute time and I want 30 minutes. Others like the kind of higher fast pace, or that's the situation they're in. So the first thing I would say is, if you look at a spectrum of, on one end, almost just view it as a toolbox, right? So in a particular scenario, I need this tool for this patient, this strategy for this patient, this concept, this theory. And so building up, and as you've heard me speak before, I really like to speak upon, here are those separate tools to build up your toolkit so that you can use the ones when you need them, based on your current situation, based on your current knowledge, and based on the patient. The other end of that spectrum would be the full-on coaching type scenario where I got tons of time, we're meeting often enough to where I can dig in and get a little more deeper into that patient's viewpoints.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that last point is really important, isn't it? That relational equity that we build over time, that in those patients that are maybe not on that readiness of scale change, ready to jump in for a full transformation, the more that we build relational equity, the more likely we are to assist and change. And how do you fit in that relational equity piece into behavioral science and behavioral change?
Yeah, so relationship is huge. There is a questionnaire, it's called the Healthcare Climate Questionnaire, and it's built to really assess patient autonomy. But if you go find that and look at that, and it's available, or email me and I'll send it to you, it gets at, if you gave that to your patient, how would they answer it? And the reason I say that is because there's things about my healthcare practitioner listens to me. I feel that they trust me, that they listen to my thoughts first before just telling me what to do. And it's a very strong, powerful assessment to give you a sense of, am I connecting relationally with my patients in a way that's going to build the autonomy that they need, that inspire some form of intrinsic motivation, one, to even come back and see me, but then to follow any recommendations that I would want to give. So that would be the first thing. The second thing I would mention with this is I've been conceptualizing it as the patient path. And so on one end, you have the provider, and that's where the provider-patient interaction, where you're trying to maximize your skill set behaviorally, but also clearly your relationship with that patient. On the other end of the spectrum, you have the program. And what I'm saying is, in the community, we have really good programming, whether it's the county extension service, the fitness facilities, public health, community health. They could have things in place. We were talking about the farmers markets and things like that. Farms,
lifestyle medicine centers, even
lifestyle medicine centers. So some people have that programs available in-house. Others do not. But the relationship happens more than just with a physician, in other words. And the process is the middle piece. You got practitioner, program, and then the process. How do we get people to those things? How do we receive information back? That continuum, in my opinion, is going to really emphasize the relationship, because now the physician is not just, hey, I care about you, which is important, but I'm also helping you connect with these other resources. So it's almost from words into action. And then they go to these places in the community and they get more relationship, and they get more people who care about them and love them and see them as a person that's trying to make change and has struggles. And now they're getting building relationships there. So it's the team-based approach, I believe, is a really, really strong opportunity for us to build relationships that impact behavior.
Yeah, and it seems like, what you're talking about too, a critical element of this is just clear, compassionate communication.
Yeah, clear and compassionate. People read through, they can see through us, and they get it. And I've noticed too, Scott, that this process, when practitioners start digging into understanding how to improve behavior change, they are challenged at another level. Like, do I even care about having a relationship with my patient? And those are strong, I think, important questions that need to be asked. In the field that we work in, especially within lifestyle medicine, people care. And it's just a matter of how does that care translate and then subsequently impact behavior change. And at that point, the relationship's probably there. Now we're dealing back with what we started talking about, these tangible skills, ability, knowledge, and tools to help them.
That is great. Well, there's so much more, and I would love to dig in deeper. And for all those that want to learn more from Mark, the websites that he mentioned at the beginning, please connect with him there, and also at our conference September 11th through the 14th, pbnhc.com. And Mark will be speaking there, and you'll see Mark lots of other places because he's a leader in this field and one of the trusted resources that I love to go to learn about behavioral science and behavioral change. Mark is on the cutting edge, and I know that you're doing some amazing research as well. Let's just end, maybe you can just tell us a couple of the research studies that you're working on with your students there.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. A few things. Really, we're focusing in on the why. Why do people change? That's largely been the theme of my research for over the last decade. Where it has transitioned, though, is digging a bit deeper into, one, how do we assess that in a clinical setting? So I have a doctoral student, Alyssa, who is developing a scale, a very simple scale that patients can complete in the waiting room, so that by the time they get back to the practitioner has a sense of these various whys or values that they might hold that could then drive the lifestyle prescription. One of those values that I've been particularly diving into personally in my own research line is the religion health connection. And why are we, why do some people internalize particular health behaviors into their religious values, but not others? And so we have a line of research that's helping discern that, because not only is religion a strong social determinant of health, and as a strong member of the team with local churches being able to house classes and to offer facilitation, but also digging in because religious views are so powerful in so many people's lives and direct so many areas of their lives and help them make decisions in so many areas. I really want to understand that a bit better, and how do we apply this religion health, religion and lifestyle medicine connection.
That's fascinating. Thanks for being on the cutting edge of the research, Mark. Appreciate it. And thanks so much for your time this afternoon and for joining us at the conference and everything you're doing in leadership around the country and the world and with ACLM. We appreciate you, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
And thanks to all of you for just taking a few minutes to join us this afternoon. Again, please take time to go to the pbnhc.com website to learn more about the conference and tools and resources, plantnutritionproject.org. Thanks, and God bless all of you. Thanks. Bye-bye.